Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A pliable sheet of tissue that covers or lines or connects the organs or cells of animals or plants. A thin pliable sheet of material. A pliable sheet of tissue that covers or lines or connects the organs or cells of animals or plants. The tissue in the bodies of animals. A flat artifact that is thin relative to its length and width. Paper used for writing or printing. A large piece of fabric, usually canvas fabric, by means of which wind is used to propel a sailing vessel. Bed linen consisting of a large rectangular piece of cotton or linen cloth, used in pairs. Nautical. A line, rope or chain, that regulates the angle at which a sail is set in relation to the wind. A flat artifact that is thin relative to its length and width. Mathematics. An unbounded two-dimensional shape. Newspaper with half-size pages. Any broad thin expanse or surface. A sheet of ice. Come down as if in sheets. The rain was sheeting down during the monsoon. Cover with a sheet, as if by wrapping. Sheet the body. Outer membrane covering an axon. A membrane in the cochlea that supports the organ of Corti. Thin double membrane surrounding the glomerulus of a nephron. Thin double membrane surrounding the glomerulus of a nephron. The very vascular fetal membrane composed of the fused chorion and adjacent wall of the allantois. The very vascular fetal membrane composed of the fused chorion and adjacent wall of the allantois. A highly vascular membrane in the eye between the retina and the sclera. A dark pigmentation minimizes the scattering of light inside the eye. A highly vascular membrane in the eye between the retina and the sclera. A dark pigmentation minimizes the scattering of light inside the eye. The part of the tunic of the eye between the choroid coat and the iris. The ciliary body produces aqueous humor. The transparent dome-shaped anterior portion of the outer covering of the eye. It covers the iris and pupil and is continuous with the sclera. A contraceptive device consisting of a flexible dome-shaped cup made of rubber or plastic. It is filled with spermicide and fitted over the uterine cervix. Anatomy. A muscular partition separating the abdominal and thoracic cavities. Functions in respiration. A mechanical device in a camera that controls size of aperture of the lens. The new cameras adjust the diaphragm automatically. Electroacoustic transducer that vibrates to receive or produce sound waves. Computer network consisting of a collection of internet sites that offer text and graphics and sound and animation resources through the hypertext transfer protocol. An intricate trap that entangles or ensnares its victim. Construct or form a web, as if by weaving. The flattened web-like part of a feather consisting of a series of barbs on either side of the shaft. An interconnected system of things or people. Tangled in a web of cloth. A fabric, especially a fabric in the process of being woven. An intricate network suggesting something that was formed by weaving or interweaving. The trees cast a delicate web of shadows over the lawn. Membrane connecting the toes of some aquatic birds and mammals. A thin membrane in synovial, freely moving, joints that lines the joint capsule and secretes synovial fluid. The membrane that forms the wall of the blastocyst in early development. Aids implantation in the uterine wall. After implantation of the blastocyst in the uterine wall, the trophoblast divides into two layers, the chorion and the placenta. An enveloping or covering membrane or layer of body tissue. Any of a variety of loose-fitting cloaks extending to the hips or knees. An enveloping or covering membrane or layer of body tissue. The membrane in the ear that vibrates to sound. A large hemispherical brass or copper percussion instrument with a drumhead that can be tuned by adjusting the tension on it. The main cavity of the ear, between the eardrum and the inner ear. The membrane in the ear that vibrates to sound. An enveloping or covering membrane or layer of body tissue. The membrane in the ear that vibrates to sound. Membrane lining the inside of the skull. Vascular membrane that lines the inner surface of long bones. Thin epithelial membrane lining the ventricles of the brain and the spinal cord canal. The membrane that forms around a fertilized ovum and prevents penetration by additional spermatozoan. Any membrane that functions for the protection or nourishment or respiration or excretion of a developing fetus. Thin double membrane surrounding the glomerulus of a nephron.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.